Hello everyone, this is Simple Math for You, and in this video we are going to continue the revision of Chapter 2, Equations in One Variable, that includes the lessons shown here, writing and interpreting equations, solving one-step and multi-step equations and equations with variables on each side, solving equations involving absolute value, solving proportions, and using formulas. We started this revision in the previous video. Please refer to that video, and today we will continue Part 2. أهلا بكم من جديد في Simple Math for You، وسنكمل اليوم مراجعة الوحدة الثانية وهي حل المعادلات بمتغير واحد، والتي تحتوي على الدروس التالية: كتابة المعادلات وحل المعادلات بخطوة واحدة وبعدة خطوات وبوجود متغير في الطرفين، والمعادلات تحتوي على القيمة المطلقة وحل التناسب والصيغ الرياضية. ونحن الآن في الجزء الثاني. Let's solve this proportion. This is proportion, تناسب. The best and the nicest way, أسهل طريقة, is the cross multiply. And you will have to include any expression in a bracket. So it is 5 times x minus 3 is equal to 2 times x. حاصل ضرب الطرفين هو نفس حاصل ضرب الوسطين, and then it's a normal equation. So x is equal to 5. Easy. Now we have here equations with variables in both sides. We will do it in a very routine way. 10 minus 5x is equal to, distribute, negative 2 times x, negative 2x, and negative 2 times 7 is negative 14. Let's combine all like terms. We have here all terms including x. We will bring them to one side. 3x comes here is negative 3x, negative 2x coming to the other side plus 2x. Now let's shift all the numbers to the other side. We have here 10, negative 12, negative 14. The negative 12 and the negative 14 will not change. The 10 will go there as negative 10. This was positive, so it becomes negative 10. I'm doing everything in one step for simple calculations. Now just add the like terms. Negative 5 plus negative 3 is negative 8. Negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6x equals to negative 12 minus 14 is negative 26. Negative 26 minus 10 is negative 36. We end up with one equation in one step can be solved. I will divide by 6 both sides, negative 6. And x is negative divided by negative positive. 36 divided by 6 is 6, and that is the solution. Question 3, another proportion, doing the same procedure. One may ask me, you didn't distribute. Actually, this is just multiplication. This is not distributing. It is just multiply 6 by 7x. Distributing is only for a sum or a difference. التوزيع هيكون على الجمع أو الطرح، مش ضرب على ضرب. You cannot distribute multiplication over multiplication. You just multiply once. So we have here a simple equation. I bring the 42 here and the 34 there. 8 minus 42 is negative 34x. And when you divide both sides by the negative 44, x is 1. Next question. I will do the same thing. 10 times 3 is 30. 3 plus times 3x plus 9x. 3 times 2, 6. As usual, combine like terms. We have here 10x, 9x, negative x. I'll bring them all on one side. If you bring the 9 here, you are not changing from side to side. Don't change the sign. You are still in the same side. Bring the minus x, it will be plus x, equals to. Now we have here 36 minus 4. So I will keep the minus 4 as it is. Bring the 6 as minus 6. Bring the 30 as minus 30. Now add like them. This is, of course, 1. 10 plus 9, 19. 19 plus 1 is 20x. Negative 4 minus 6 is negative 10. Negative 10 minus 30 is negative 40. Dividing by 20. So x is negative 2. And this is the solution. Let's see here another practice. 2 times negative 1, negative 2. 2 times x. 2 times negative 1. 3 times x. 3 times negative 2. Combine. 10x minus 12x will not change the signs. 2x will be negative 2x. 3x will be negative 3x equals to. We have here negative 2 goes with negative 2. They are the same numbers with same signs in both sides. I will subtract negative 2, or we add 2 to both sides, same thing. And we end up that side with negative 6 only. Now 10 minus 12 is negative 2. Negative 2 minus 2, negative 4. Negative 4 minus 3, negative 7x. And when you divide by negative 7, negative over negative, it will be 6 over 7. And the solution now is a fraction. No worries. 6 over 7. Now we move to the absolute value equation. Remember, the absolute value, القيمة المطلقة دائما موجبة. The absolute value will be always positive or zero. Positive or zero. So whenever you have absolute value alone on one side is equal to a negative number without thinking, no solution. It's pi. Empty set. There is no value that makes this equation correct. Now, let's see how to solve this equation. Solve the equation shown here. Actually, we need to isolate the absolute value first. So we will divide both sides by 3 and then start dealing with the absolute value. Now we have absolute value, not a negative number, it's a positive number. This number is positive. When this is positive, then you have to have two cases. Once when whatever inside the bracket, this part, is exactly 10 positive. The other one when it is negative 10. So you will once solve when it's 10 and negative 10. And you will solve each equation separately. So y is 10 minus 6, which is 4. And y is negative 10 minus 6, which is negative 16. That means we have two solutions. So if the absolute value is equal to a positive number, expect two solutions. When the absolute value is equal to 0, no solution. When the absolute value is equal to, negative number, no solution. When it is equal to 0, we have one solution, which is the value that makes the expression inside is equal to 0. Let's see here. We cannot start or decide whether it has two solutions, no solution, or whatever, if you don't isolate the absolute value. Let's do this procedure. So the minus 2, I'll take it to the other side. This is step 1. Minus 7 plus 2. So negative 2x plus 3 as absolute value is negative 5. Now, if this is negative, this negative is not there, directly we'll say no solution. But since it is here, you can simply divide both sides by -1 to cancel the negative, and you will end up with absolute value is equal to a positive number. Since it has been equal to a positive number, so we have two cases. Case 1, when it is equal to 5. Case 2, when it's equal to -5. Solve each one individually. 5 minus 3, 2. So x is 1. This is one of the solutions. The other solution, 2x is -5 minus 3, which is -8. And x is -4. So this is another solution. Also, you can do it by trial and error. You can take each value here and replace instead of the x and check. كل value تعوضها وتشوف إذا الطرف الأيمن يساوي الطرف الأيسر, then you are in the safe side. But I feel solving is much better in this case. So we have two solutions, and it might be in any exam written in this way, -4 and 1, set with two different solutions. Let's move here, which could be an equation for the graph shown. And this is a kind of writing equation, and it should be absolute value equation since we have two different solutions. Generally, it is the general form is absolute value x minus the midpoint is equal to the distance to the midpoint, distance from endpoint to the midpoint. Remember this. Midpoint can be found mentally. Midpoint نقطة المنتصف here is this one. This is midpoint. If you cannot find it, then what will you do? You can add the endpoints and divide by 2. نقطة المنتصف إنه تجمع الطرفين طرفي السوليوشنز يعني تجمعهم وتقسم على 2. يعني مثلا احنا في حالتنا عندنا السوليوشن هذا -1 بلس السوليوشن الثاني 7 divide by 2. 7 minus 1 6 over 2, which is 3. Is it the correct one? It's not the correct one because this is not -1. This is -3. So be careful. This is -3, not -1. So this is -3, and this will be 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. I'm trying to make some mistakes with you so that I feel that you are following up carefully. Of course, we are expecting that it's 2, so we know that there is something wrong. And the midpoint can be found by adding the endpoints and divide by 2. This is the midpoint. Right. What about now this part? So this will be x minus 2. The distance from the midpoint to one of the endpoints. المسافة بين الميدبوينت اللي طلعتها اللي هي 2 and the 7. How much is it? It is 5 definitely. Can we find it algebraically? يعني إذا كانت المسافات متباعدة مش هنقعد نعد. So what will you do? Instead of adding, you will subtract. So the distance is subtract and divide by 2. يعني you can say that it is the first point is what we have here, 7 minus the -3 and divide by 2. يعني أول point عندك 7 والثانية solution -3. So 7 minus -3, which is 10 divided by 2, which is 5. And this is the solution. If you forget how to do it, then the only choice for you is to do what? To solve each one and check. Of course, you start by this one. If you want to solve it and check that the solution is -3 and 7 is also correct. But as you see, it is easier to find it from the line directly. Now, here we will see. If you want to write the equation, also x minus the midpoint is equal to the distance. The midpoint is here, easy to be found, which is how much? 1? It is 1. So we can say it's x minus 1. And the distance from 1 to 4 is 3. Yes. None of them is written in this way. None of them. So we will see which one is equivalent to this absolute value. Let's check the first one. Now, as you see here, there is a common factor, عامل مشترك, inside the bracket. So I will take the 2 as a common factor, عامل مشترك, and what remains? 2x, if you divide it by 2, it is x, and negative 2 divided by 2 is 1. And I will keep this 6. If you want to check that this is correct, 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 1 2. إذا أول شيء هاخد عامل مشترك وأقسم كل term كل حد على هذا العامل المشترك. So 2x divided by 2 و 2 divided by 2. So I will take the 2. After that, I will take the 2 out since it is positive. So it will be 2 absolute value of x minus 1 is equal to 6. To simplify, you divide both sides by 2. And this will be x minus 1 is equal to 3. It is the same one as I expected here. So A is one of the correct solution. Okay. Now, this is wrong, definitely. This is wrong because the distance is wrong. And the midpoint is wrong. Now, for this one, you will divide by 2 to simplify. It's ending up with x minus 2 absolute value is 3, not the 1. Let's check the E here. If you divide by 5 both sides, then absolute value is equal to 3, which is the one that I am expecting. So I have now 2 correct answers, the A and the E. At a harbor, the high and low water marks can be found by solving the equation m minus 2.9 is equal to 1.6. The high water mark, and the maximum occurs at where, and the minimum or the low water at where. So in this case, I can solve this absolute value equation. We have a positive number, we have absolute value, isolated, معزولة وجاهزة. So I have 2 cases here. مرة positive ومرة negative. So it will be m equal 1.6 plus 2.9, which is 4.5. The other one, when you take this to the other side, 2.9 minus 1.6, which is 1.3. So this is my maximum, and this is my minimum. And I can fill in the blanks with the highest and the lowest. Solve this equation, show your work. This is kind of equation that you should be very careful when you solve, because we have variable in both sides. We have variable here and variable there. So it is very important to check, even if you are not asked. You need to check the solution, because if you have a variable in both sides, you might have one of them not acceptable. لازم تتحقق من الأجوبة إذا كان عندك الفاريبل في الطرفين. So we will first try to isolate the absolute value as we get used to. لازم نعزل absolute value. So 2x minus 8 is equal to, take the 14 there, 4x minus 14. And when you divide both sides by 2, so we have x minus 8 is equal to 4x divided by 2 is 2x. Then negative 14 divided by 2 is negative 7. Now we end up with an absolute value equals to expression. Then you need to have 2 cases. Case 1, copy paste everything without changing. Case 2, the expression inside is equal to the negative of the other side. Remember when it was, for example, 10, you say مرة نستخدم 10, once with negative 10. In this case, we will use the expression in the same way, and we will solve the equations. Combined like terms. One x minus 2x minus x, 8 minus 7 is 1. Divide both sides by negative 1, so x is minus 1. This is one of the possible solutions, we can say. Now, the second one, negative by 2x, negative 2x, negative by negative 7 plus 7. So we have x plus 2x is equal to 8 plus 7 because we'll take the 8 to the other side. So 3x, this is 1x, equals to 15. And when you divide, x is 5. Now we have two possible solutions. Which one is the correct one? Which one we should take? We need to check. So let's check. When you check, you will use the x in both sides. This is the original equation. So what will you do? You will take the x away here and there, and you will replace it with the value that you have found here, which is negative 1. And let's now evaluate. 2 times negative 1 minus 8, negative 9, plus 14 is equal to 4 times minus 1 is negative 4. 2 times absolute value of negative 9 is 9, plus 14 is equal to minus 4. And that means 18 plus 14 is equal to minus 4. 32 is equal to minus 4, which is wrong, definitely. So that means this is not a possible solution. This is rejected. So x is minus 1 will be rejected, will not be taken as a solution. However, we were expecting that. Now let's check the other solution. I'll use another color. For x is equal to 5, I will do the same thing. I will copy everything here. That is the original equation. And I will replace this x now by the 5. This is but instead of the 5. So 2, absolute value 5 minus 8 is negative 3. 4 times 5, 20. 2 times absolute value of minus 3 is positive 3. Plus 14 is equal to 20. 2 times 3, 6. 6 plus 14 is 20. Of course, yes, 20 is equal to 20, correct? So we have to take only one solution. So the solution, don't forget at the end to write that the solution is only x equals to 5 or 5. Back to proportion. You have to solve and check with me. Yes, x is 9 minus 1. So see, proportion now with two expressions. Don't worry about it. Same thing. Put it in bracket and solve. More practice is good for you. Oh, D is the correct solution. Now, problem solving. Noor was planning a trip to the United Arab Emirates. Before going, she did some research and learned that the exchange rate is approximately 4 dirhams for every $1. So 4 dirhams for $1. I write it this way. How many dirhams? So here is X. We don't know how much would she get if she exchanged $5. We can write it as proportion, by the way. You can say like this, 4 over x is 1 over 5, and then x times 1x, 4 times 5 is 20 dirhams. You can do it mentally as well. It's easy. The screen of a standard television has a width to height 4 to 3. So width over height is 4 over 3. Ratio is the same as fraction. Now, the width here is given to be, as you see here, which proportion can use to find the height of a television screen with a width of 15 inches. This is the width. So I will replace the width of 15 over the height that I don't know is equal to 4 over 3. Now, this is the summary. I'm summarizing while I am reading. So which one matches with this proportion? As you see here, it's very obvious, very clear من الواضح إنه إيه صح. طيب, are others wrong? One of the properties of the proportion is nice property that you can also flip. So it can be written in this way. Which one is matching with this way? H over 15 is equal to 3 over 4. Is there anything else here? No. We can say also that 15 over 4 is equal to H over 3. In order, بالترتيب. We can say also that 4 over 15 is equal to 3 over H. All these are correct, by the way. So if you look carefully here at the options, you will see that 15 over H equals to 4 over 3 is right over there. And F is also here. Yes. We have 3 correct options. Don't expect that you will have 3 correct options in any exam, but we should be careful. So for the proportion as a summary, if you have A over B is equal to C over D, we can say that A over C is equal to B over D. This is correct. We can say B over A is equal to D over C. We can say that C over A is equal to D over B as well. All these are correct. We have many more, but this is the most common one. Solve the equation for Z. Now we are solving the equation for a variable. مين الفاريبل اللي بدنا نعمله لوحده؟ It's the Z. So step 1, get rid of the denominator. Multiply both sides by the denominator. So I will multiply this by 5 and this by 5. What will happen now? 5 cancel 5. You have 2Z plus 12 is equal 4y times 5 is 20y. Now again, you need Z alone. So kick the 12 to the other side. And now we want Z alone, so divide by 2 everything. So Z equals to 20y divided by 2 is 10y. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Which one is the correct one? It is A. Now we will solve also for W. Step 1, get rid of the denominator. So multiply both sides by the 2. And then we will distribute. 2 times R, 2 times 4y is 8w, 2w I mean. So it's 1 plus 3w. We have like terms. So 8w minus 3w is equal to 1 minus 2r. 8w minus 3w is 5w. And divide both sides by 5. W is equal 1 minus 2r over 5. You can write it as well. 1 over 5 minus 2 over 5r. You can write it in this way. The base of a triangle B is 5. The area of the triangle is 25. Find the height of the triangle H. He is talking about area, المساحة. So the area of the triangle is half, نص القاعدة في الارتفاع, half base times height. If he is asking to find the height H, let's solve for H. خلينا نطلع ال H لوحدها. How can I find H? First of all, multiply by 2. So that we get rid of the denominator. So صار عندي 2A is equal to BH. And to find H alone, I divide by B. Now we have an equation. a formula. H is 2A over B. What do we have here? Let's replace. When you replace, we have H equals to 2 times, the area is 25, the base is 5. And when you multiply 2 by 25 is 50, divided by 5 is 10. So H is 10. The measure of a supplement of angle is 40. What is the meaning of supplement? Angles are supplementary if they have sum is equal to 180. يعني مثلا 70 and 110 are supplementary angles. 80 and 100 are supplementary angles. 90 and 90 are supplementary angles. So it's the only value when they are equal if they both are right angles, if each one is 90, but not necessary to be equal. So their sum should be 180. That means if you know one of the angles, X, the other one will be 180 minus X. يعني إذا عرفت الأولى مثلا 80 الثانية 180 minus 80 which is 100. You can do it mentally but not all of them are easy to be found mentally. So if X is the measure of the original angle, then the supplement will be 180 minus X. This is the supplement, just to see that. So if you know that the measure of the supplement angle, which is this one, 180 minus X, is 40 more than, so 40 plus 4 times the measure of the original angle. So it is 4 times the original one, which is X. The most important thing is to write the equation in a proper way. أهم شيء تكتب الإيكويشن صح. And now we need to solve. We will combine like terms. So negative X minus 4X is equal to 40 minus 180. Negative 1 minus 4 is negative 5X. 40 minus 180 is negative 140. And when you divide 140 divided by 5, 140 divided by 5 is 28. So X is 28. So the original angle is 28 and the supplement will be 180 minus 28, which is 152 degrees. This is how we solve geometry problem using algebra. Now, this is another geometry problem. The area of the trapezoid is given by this formula where h is the height, a, b are the measures of the two bases, this one and this one. And what is the height of the trapezoid with area is 12 and the two bases are 4 and 6 inches. Let us solve for h. Step 1, get rid of the denominator. Multiply both sides by 2. Now you want h alone, so divide both sides by a plus b. So your h now is 2 times a over a plus b. By the way, you can solve it without solving for a variable h, but we are just making some training exercises to how to isolate the variable. But you can replace with numbers and solve the equation normally. Now let's see what are the given values. 2 times the area was given by 12. A plus B, we have 4 plus 6. So we have 24 over 10, which is 2.4 inches. And we will fill the blank, 2.4. Solve the volume formula for H. Step 1, 3 multiplied by 3. So it's 3V is equal to pi r square H. You need H. So divide by pi r square both sides. So your H is 3V over pi r square. After you solve for H, Is there anything to replace? Nothing. So you will leave it as this. The surface area of the rectangular prism is given by the formula, long formula here, where L is the length, W is the width, H is the height. And if the surface area is given, what is the value of H? For this type of questions, by the way, you can replace directly, and you can do it this way. I will solve it in both ways. You can say 188 is equal to 2 times L is given, for example, here by 12, W by 5, plus 2 times L is 12, H is not known, plus 2 times W is 5, H is unknown. We can simplify. 188 is equal to 2 times 12 by 5 is 120, and this is 24H plus 10H. Then 188, 34H, they are like terms. Take this to the other side. 188 minus 120 is 68. And when you divide by 34, so H is 2. Simply, H is 2 inches. This is one of the approaches, because he is not asking you to isolate the H. But what if you are asked to solve for H? Let's extend the idea. We want H alone. So what will you do? We need to isolate the H. خلي ال H لوحدها. So S minus 2LW. I'll take the 2LW to the other side. Equals to 2LH plus 2WH. Now, unfortunately, you don't know them here, and you are only dealing with variables. So I will take H as common factor, and I will write the leftovers, الباقي. And now you need H alone. So you will divide by 2L plus 2W. And here you will divide by 2L plus 2W. So this is H. Now, after you isolate the H, now you can replace. As he said, S is 188. So 188 minus 2 times. The length is given to be 12. The width is 5 over twice times 12 twice 5. If you find everything, it will be also inches. We just practice here. Okay. Now conversion of units. The chart shows common household conversions, as you see here. Now, how can we deal with conversions here? Choose the correct unit. We want to convert 3 pence. 3 pence. If you want to convert it to gallons, because here we have gallons, ounces, cups, quarts. If you want to convert it to gallons, let's check here. What do you need? 3 pence. I will do it this way. I want at the end to have gallons. So what shall I do? I will multiply 3 pence by, we know that 1 quart is 2 pence. And we know that 4 quarts is 1 gallon. Why I'm writing in this order? Because the quarts will go with the quarts, pence will go with pence, and I will be left with the gallons that I need. I need gallons at the end. So what shall I do? I will multiply all the numbers left. 3, 1, and the 1 up. So 3 times 1 times 1. And down we have 2 times 4. So we have 3 over 8, which is 0.375 gallons. And that's why we will choose gallons for this number. What if you want quarts only? We have 3 pence. And you know that 1 quart is 2 pence. So I'll stop here because I want part alone. So I'll cancel this with that. It will be 3 times 1 up over 2. 3 over 2 is 1.5. And that's why here I am choosing 1.5 quarts. What if I want answers? Now I'll go back here. I know that, let's choose another color here. We want 3 pence to be converted to ounces. So we know that 1 pint is 2 cups. And 1 cup is 8 ounces. So cup goes with cup, pint go with pint. So it will be 3 times 2 times 8 up, and down we have 1 times 1. 3 times 2, 6 times 8 is 48 over 1 is 48 what? Ounces. So whatever you need to cancel, put it down so that you cancel. And could put it properly, actually, proper dimension. And we will have here this option. Now, the last question here in this revision is the easiest. We have 1 foot is equivalent to 0.305 meters. A question is telling you approximately how many feet are in 8 meters. Simply cross multiply, because you can write it this way actually. Or you can say 0.305x is 8 times 1, which is 8, and dividing both sides by 0.305, then x is 26.2 what feet. And this is our solution. With that, we are ending the revision of chapter 2. I hope it was beneficial. أرجو أن تكون فيها الفائدة. هي كانت نهاية حلقة اليوم بخصوص مراجعة الوحدة الثانية. أمنياتي لكم جميعا بالنجاح والتفوق. Wish you the best in your exams. Thank you all. ونلتقي في الفيديو القادم إن شاء الله قريبا. إلى اللقاء.